So people often ask me, either in a live stream or wherever, do I have any regrets about being in the United States Army? So let's talk about those. What's up, my friends? Welcome to an all new video. I'm US Army veteran ThatChrisChaos, and in this one I'm talking about 3 regrets that I've kind of outlined as like my top ones, I guess. The main ones that I kind of think of when I think about things I wish I would have done differently when I was in the Army. Maybe to help you, maybe you're already in the Army, maybe you're going to join the Army, and this kind of gets some things going in the back of your mind as far as things to consider. Maybe hopefully you don't make the same mistakes, or maybe these aren't things you care about anyway, so it just really kind of depends. So why not just jump right into it, and let's get into the very first one, and that is when it comes to leave. As far as I would always go home on leave. So I've talked about it in some previous videos, how leave works, how vacation works in the United States Army, and typically at the unit level, they have like block leave. You have certain time frames during the year that they block off, no training, and they allow soldiers in that unit to take vacation, to take some leave, maybe for 2 weeks or a week or whatever. And every single time that would come up, I would always go home and hang out with family. Now, there's nothing wrong with spending time with family, but I wish I would have maybe like broken it up a little bit. Maybe if it was like a 2-week vacation kind of a thing, I wish I would have done something like maybe like spend like the first week doing something cool, like maybe go into some city that I've never been to, or go on some kind of adventure that I've always wanted to do. Maybe spend that first week doing something cool, or even the first few days or whatever, having some kind of fun adventure, and then spend some time with family. Maybe kind of break it up, not just always just strictly just, all right, I'm gonna go home, spend time with family, and just spend that entire 2 weeks with family. Now, when it comes to like Christmas leave, that would probably be a good thing to do, but some of those summer ones, maybe I could have broken them up and maybe, done something to where, hey, for Christmas, yes, I'll come and spend that entire 2 weeks with my family and hang out with them for Christmas and everything like that. But maybe when we took block leave, like around like the 4th of July or in the summertime, wherever, maybe, spend a few of those days doing something kind of a fun trip in Vegas or New York City, or just somewhere's cool and have some kind of fun adventure, and then spend, several other days with family. So you still get a little bit of a good balance of fun adventure and some family time. The second regret that I have is not saving enough money. Everybody talks about it and maybe even thinks about it, but they don't do it, right? Because you just want to have fun. You want to spend your paycheck on, going to the bars, to the clubs, to, buy the latest PlayStation or Xbox or whatever. So you end up, blowing your money and bills that you might have too, and not really allocating anything for saving. But I wish I would have done something. They have different plans you can do in the Army that, matches the amount, kind of like a 401k type of thing. And I could have easily just had it to where maybe even like $50, $100 per paycheck, nothing crazy or anything like that. Could have just gone to that. And then for that entire 10 plus years that I was in the Army, that would have equaled to quite a bit, to where I could have either used that on maybe a down payment on a house, maybe to save for retirement or whatever the case was, but I didn't do any of that. It always sounds like a good idea. Everybody always recommends save money, and you think about it, but like I said, nobody really does it that much. I mean, there are some people that are very good with money, and they do, and they follow through with it, and they probably are glad that they did, because they got out of the Army and they have this big chunk of money that's into some kind of, savings plan or a savings account or wherever the case is, and they have that to add to retirement or to use that for, a house or whatever the case might be, right? I mean, there are some tax things that go along with that, obviously. So if you go and you save like $100,000 and you want to pull that out, well, that is going to be taxed still. So there's a lot of other like financial stuff that are involved with that, but still having that saved up for something good would have been nice. And I didn't do any of that. Now, before we get into that third and final one, if you are interested in learning about the United States Army, either from my experience or just learning about Army stuff in general, and you're not already subscribed to this channel, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button, even clicking on that bell to get alerts as soon as new videos go live, to include the live streams and become a part of that awesome notification platoon. So let's get into that third and final top 3 type of regrets that I have about the United States Army. Now, the third regret that I guess I have for me personally is I wish I would have taken some online classes. I've talked about it before to individuals that are curious about wanting to take online classes, wanting to take college courses while on active duty. And it can be a really tricky type of situation. You may have some situations where you're able to do that, and some other situations where you're just not gonna have any time for that. In my case, most of the time you didn't have time for that, right? You're going to the field, you're doing training, you have missions that have to get done, all sorts of things that have to get done. So definitely doing actual physical college classes just was not gonna happen unless you re-enlist for that and do the college option, and then you can maybe get a semester, and that's cool. And I did that once, but There's some other times where maybe I could have squeezed in like a little college class, like some kind of online course. So like I said, it's still gonna vary based on your MOS, right? And what your mission is as far as if you really have this time or not. But looking back, there might have been a few times here and there, and even those few classes would have been nice, right? To kind of knock that out and kind of break up some things, learn something new or whatever the case was, to maybe take some kind of class that maybe was only a couple weeks or whatever and do some kind of online training and do some kind of online college course, because the Army's gonna pay for that as long as you pass that class. Because if you fail that class, then you're responsible for paying for it. But there could have been some times, I think, looking back, where I could have gotten in some small classes, maybe here and there. I mean, nothing really back to back, so it probably would have been really spread out. But there was some probably times here and there where maybe I could have squeezed in like one college class and, kind of pace myself out. Don't try to do anything crazy like taking multiple college classes, but maybe like one specific, topic or one specific class and do that online. Have the Army pay for it and just, dedicate some evenings, to be able to work on that on my off time for, a few weeks or whatever. Now, those are the things that I personally had that I wish I would have done a little bit differently, right? Vacation time, for savings, for going to some classes, or not really going to classes, but doing some online courses. So maybe that gets the gears going in your mind to maybe think about some things when you're in the Army. Maybe you're currently in the Army and you're thinking about some things. Maybe you're in that situation. That's the first one is probably like one of my biggest ones. I wish I would have done more adventures, right? And there's probably a lot of soldiers out there that may be watching this video that realize that, yeah, I do that all the time too. I always just go back home and, spend time with my friends from high school or my family or whatever in my hometown and all that stuff like that. But maybe I should be breaking that up and maybe plan it to where the next block leave, maybe I take a first 3 or 4 days and go do something kind of fun. Maybe plan it with some of the other soldiers in my platoon that I'm friends with, and we go do something together for the first 3 or 4 days and have a good time. Now, out of curiosity, I'm curious if any of you out there that maybe are currently in the Army, maybe some veterans out there, do you have any regrets that you wish you would have done differently when you were in the United States Army? Leave some comments down below. I'm sure we're probably gonna get a couple of, yeah, I regret joining the Army. I'm sure you're gonna get that. But outside of that, right, something maybe you wish you would have done differently when you were in the Army. Or maybe even military in general. If you're Air Force or Navy or Marines or Coast Guard or whatever, I'd love to hear from you guys as well. Drop down in the comment section. Now, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to show some love, hit that thumbs up. Check out some links down in the description. I got some links to social media, the Discord channel, all sorts of fun stuff. Check out the description box. Thank you so much for watching. I'm ThatChrisChaos, and I'll see you next time. See ya.